Welcome to this L&R warehouse training video on scanning. The scanning process at an L&R warehouse is meant to ensure that a quality order with all the proper items in the proper quantities leaves the warehouse. It's also meant to ensure that all the order's boxes are properly labeled and that the correct invoice is in the last box. Scanning is the next step for an order after it's been picked. Let's follow Denora as she takes us through the scanning process. First, find the picking ticket or order in one of the order's boxes and ensure that you have all the boxes. Using the computer terminal and computer keyboard, from the shipping menu select Job Function Login. On the Employee Login Logout window and with the cursor on User ID, scan your name badge. The cursor drops down to Login Logout. There should be an I in that spot indicating you're logging in. Press Enter. On the Job Assignment window, key in a capital Z and the appropriate zone number. Press Enter. From Job Function, key in capital letters SI for Scan In. Press Enter. You're back at the shipping menu. This time, select Release Confirmation RCE. On the Release Confirmation entry screen, for release number, scan the picking ticket barcode found at the very top of the order form. In the User ID login window, rescan your name badge. On the pop-up window, select Yes to start a new order. On the Serial Shipping Container window, for User ID, scan your name badge again. New should appear as the serial ship code. Press Enter. Input or verify that a capital C for carton appears as the package type. Press Enter. A carton label will print out on your station's printer. Set it to the side as it'll be placed on the first box. We'll call it box number 1 after it has been filled. As a special note, there might actually be multiple types of labels for any one box depending on the type of product or order. For our purposes, we'll just indicate one label, and that would be the carton label. And now the fun really begins as you start scanning the items in the order and keying in quantities. As you scan an item, the quantity for that item defaults to 1. Key in the correct quantity. Press Enter. As you proceed with that process, place the scanned items in the box. Now a couple notes. Items can be scanned in a random order. They do not need to be scanned in the order they appear on the order form. Whew, that would be a real chore. Item quantities can be keyed in incrementally. In other words, scan an item, key in the quantity in that inner pack. If you find that same item again later in the order, scan that same item again. Key in the quantity in that inner pack. The system will do the math and add all the quantities for the same SKU. As you scan items and key in quantities, there are a number of messages that might come up. If you scan an item that's not listed on the order, you'll see a message, unable to locate product entered on release defined. That item does not belong in the order and should be placed in the go back bin to eventually be returned to the pick bins. If you key in a quantity for an item that exceeds the quantity listed on the order, you'll see a message, overshipment detected. The excess quantity is also indicated in the message and should go in the go back bin. Now back to the order. Continue scanning items, keying in quantities, and pressing Enter till you've either completed the order or the box is full. Press F2. How you respond to the "Are you finished with registering all items for this release" question in the pop-up window depends on whether you've completed the order or have more items, and thus at least one more box for that same order. Say you have more boxes of product to scan for the current order. In that scenario, obviously select No. Another carton label will print out. This one will be for the next box that you fill. We'll call it box number 2. A carton contents list will also print out. That contents list will contain every item you scanned and placed in box number 1. Since you're finished with box number 1, prepare the box for later shipment by packing tightly so no product breaks in shipment. Place contents list in box, tape securely, and place appropriate labels on the outside of the box. Set aside and then secure an empty box for more of the order's product. Here, Denora empties out a box from the order for that purpose. Then back to the screen and scanning the product going into the second box. Continue that process for each additional box. Be sure to ignore all intentional efforts to distract you, especially from any particularly attractive members of the film crew. Once your order is complete and you've scanned your last item, press F2. On the Are You Finished with Registering All Items for this release window, this time select Yes. You're confirming that all items in the order have been scanned. If, after selecting Yes, an error message appears, that means one of two things. An item or items listed on the order form were not scanned, or quantities keyed in for an item or items were less than listed on the order form. On the error message, select Print Report. A window appears informing you of the printer that will be used to print the error report. Press F2. The error report prints out with the missing items or incorrect quantities, and the terminal screen returns to the shipping menu. Using the error report, proceed to the picking area to physically retrieve the items necessary to correct the order. Back at the computer terminal, from the shipping menu, select Release Confirmation, RCE. On the Release Confirmation entry screen, rescan the picking ticket barcode at the very top of the order form. This identifies the order you're correcting. For user ID, rescan your name badge. On the Serial Shipping Confirmation Information window, select Edit. For serial ship code, scan the barcode on the bottom of the carton label on the last box of the order. Press F9. That will bring up Reference Search. Type in a capital B, then press Enter. That takes you to the end of the list of items you previously scanned in that order. It's here you would scan the UPC of the first item on the error report and the added quantity. Press Enter. Continue scanning all error report items till all are reported. Then press F2. On the Are You Finished with Registering All Items for this release, answer Yes again. If you've corrected all errors, this time your yes should be accepted and you'll move on. Now we'll show Denora's final computer activities to close out the order. Then we'll show her final physical activities to close out the order. On the Release Header window, press F2. On the Cartons Strapped Together window, select No and press F2. Now here's another quick if. If the order is a reset order, a message will appear at the bottom of the screen reminding you to pick up the shelf labels for the order. There will also be a spot to key in the control number found under the barcode at the top of the sheet of shelf labels. Then press Enter. If you then see a blank screen, you've completed that order. If the Load Invoices window appears, select Print Invoice. And guess what? The invoice for the order prints out. On the Invoice Printing Complete window, select Process. The invoice will then process through the system. On the box number window, key in or confirm the box number you're placing the invoice in. The invoice should always be placed in the last box of the order. On the release confirmation entry screen, press Escape to arrive back at the shipping menu. Order complete. Now, as promised, let's follow Denora's physical activities. After placing the final scanned items in the last box, the final contents list goes in the box. The box is packed for safe shipment. And all appropriate labels are placed. The invoice goes in the last box, which is then securely taped shut. Order complete.
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
So here it all is, the scanning process in a minute or less. Key and scan in important information in the workstation's computer. We'll call it scan prep. Before any scanning begins, label or labels print out for box number 1. Scan items and key in quantities as you place items in box number 1. As you conclude box number 1, a contents list prints out for that box. Place the contents list in the box, pack the box for safe shipment, place printed label or labels on the outside of the box, and tape securely. A label or labels print out for the next box. Repeat this process for all additional product, scanning items, keying in quantities, placing items in boxes, packing boxes, labeling boxes, and taping boxes till the complete order has been scanned. During or after the scanning process, use any error messages or error reports to correct picking errors. Place order invoice and any possible shelf labels in the final box. Complete the order in the computer. Stand back and admire your work. Yeah, I know, that was over a minute. And that concludes this L&R Warehouse training video on scanning.